Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new here. I am your host, Davin James. Glad to be here with all of you guys here today. Hope you all do well, hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are in the world. If you are new here, please remember to like, subscribe and comment. Helps a bunch, completely free, and it really shows your support. Now today, I'm talking about the first official look at the Superman costume from director James Gunn, who recently revealed the costume on his Threads account. The movie will be coming out in 2025. It stars David Cornsweet as Superman, and also stars Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. So with that being said, let's get on with today's episode, shall we? James Gunn's new Superman suit debuts. Here we see David Cornsweet as the Man of Steel in a new look at the 2025 superhero film. And I know so far this has gotten some mixed responses from a lot of people, including myself for example. I like the suit, but I thought it was a weird choice to make it to make your first unveil of the suit a battle-worn suit, if that makes sense, instead of like just a normal test screening look at the first suit. I'm still excited at the Superman movie coming out next year at the hands of James Gunn and also David Cornsweet. I'm more familiar with James Gunn than I am with David Cornsweet, but nonetheless, I think he does look good in the Superman costume. I just think that this was a bit of an odd choice to unveil the suit as your first look, that is. The new Superman suit has officially debuted, as filming on James Gunn's Superman, formerly known as Superman Legacy, continues. The writer-director shared to his Threads account a first look at stars David Cornsweet in costume as the Man of Steel. The first thing fans might notice is the suit is quite dirty and weathered, which suggests Superman will be doing plenty of down and dirty fighting in the movie. Gunn then added on Threads that the first look photo was taken on set by Jess Milgo and was entirely in camera. Basically say like this wasn't a leak or anything like that, like this was done deliberately. This was done on purpose. What you're seeing in the frame itself, including David Cornsweet and the background, was all done in camera. David Cornsweet is getting a big break of a lifetime as the star of Superman, which marks his first time as leading a major Hollywood tentpole film. The 30-year-old actor is best known for his supporting roles in two Ryan Murphy-created Netflix series, The Politician and Hollywood. I have seen a bit of Hollywood, but I haven't finished it, so I do know him from that, but I can't really remember much about the show to really go into his acting, if you will. His most notable role prior to Superman was probably Pearl, by the T.I. West directed horror film starring Mia Goth. Starring opposite Cornsweet in Superman is the marvellous Miss Maisel Emmy winner Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. Nicholas Hoult is taking on the role of Superman's infamous villain Lex Luthor, while Gunn's cast also includes Skylar Giresto, I don't know how you pronounce her last name so I do apologise, Jimmy Olsen, Auntie Carrigan, Metaphor, and so on and so forth basically. While originally titled Superman Legacy, Gunn revealed in February that he trimmed the title down to just Superman. Around the same time, Gunn posted the first cast photo from the movie's first table read of the script. Speaking to Variety at the SAG Awards this year, Bronson said it was brilliant to hear Gunn's words aloud. It was pretty amazing, she said, about the first table read. Some of us met for the first time, some of us got to see each other again. It was amazing to hear the script out loud. As with all of these films, there's a lot of action sequences and things, so to hear the pacing of the film and get to hear these characters occupied by the actors who play them is really fun. It's also a great group. You can't ask for more than that when doing something like this, she says. I have always loved Lois Lane, the actor added. She's smart, ambitious, and can be funny. She knows when she's the smartest person in the room, more often than not. When the opportunity came on, I'm such a fan of James Gunn. From afar, we are still finding these characters. We haven't started shooting yet. You'll meet the final version of them. Superman is set to open in cinemas on the 11th of July 2025 from Warner Bros. Okay, so even though this isn't like a big blown up image, One of the things I've seen people talk about on this is so far is the bagginess of the costume, which is like around by here somewhere. I personally don't mind it because it gives a more realistic sort of tone to the costume. It's not like a super costume, if you will. It's not something that's made from CGI and it just reflects perfectly on an actor or whatever. It's something that, you know, gives off a more authentic look, a more realistic sort of look. And you might not like that. You might think, well, that don't really suit what I'm looking for in terms of Superman, which is fair enough, each to their own. But another complaint I've seen is that the logo right here. Some people don't really like the colours. Oh, this goes for the costume itself. Some people don't really like the colours. They feel like within the costume itself, like some people feel like, hey, you know, by here it looks very bright. Over here it looks quite dark. So a bit of a mixture of colours sort of thing. And some people are not really sure how they feel about that. And one thing to add as well, as you can see here briefly, they got the trunks for this costume as well, which made a lot of people happy apparently. Me personally, I didn't really care if they added trunks or they did not add trunks. To me, it didn't really bother me. I just want to see the costume itself and the actor inside the costume and see if the movie's any good or not when it actually comes out. That's what I care about the most. But completely respect anyone who really does care about whether or not they added the trunks or whatever to the costume. So, happy days for most people, I suppose. But in terms of the Superman S logo, like, there was an image that came out like back when the film started filming. I believe it might have been around March sometime they started filming it. I'm not really sure. But the logo looked a little bit brighter. But then I suppose that's because it was done through like post-production sort of thing, where this is taken right then in the moment on set. So you could expect it to look the same as the image you saw previously when it comes to the costume. That's led to a lot of divisiveness as well, where some people feel like, oh well, wait a minute, is this a different costume? Like, what's going on here? The brief texture of what I saw of the costume previously looked really good. This looked like a completely different costume, which is not. This is just a version of the suit in full, but when Superman's preparing for battle, as you can see here with him putting on his boots. Which I thought was pretty different. Not every day you see a first glimpse when a superhero themselves are putting on the costume, instead of like just doing an ordinary screen test of the costume and polish it up in post-production or whatever. So, yeah, I've seen a lot of divisiveness surrounding this costume. I personally don't mind it. I'm not a huge fan of it, but again, I don't mind it. This isn't going to change anything for me in terms of the movie. I'm still looking forward to the movie. I still believe in James Gunn. I still believe in his vision for the DC universe. I can't remember what it's called now. It's gone through so many different names over the years. DCEU, DCU and whatever else. But I'm very excited to see what he does with this movie. The background here is very interesting as well. Some people are speculating that it could be the villain known as Brainiac, who's setting off this purple energy or pink energy, whatever you want. I don't really know the villain of Brainiac that well, so I can't really describe his, power level, if you will, or his powers himself. It's like an energy blast, that's what I want to call it. But also, you can see like a little bit of light of green. So some people are wondering, hey, is that the other Green Lantern that's supposed to be in this movie as well? Guy Gardner. So, because we know in this movie there's going to be a lot of different characters, other different superheroes and whatnot in this movie. What kind of role they're going to have, we don't actually know. But we know there's going to be other characters in this movie because Superman is not going to be an origin story. Superman 2025 will not be an origin story. This will be Clark Kent, Superman, in his prime, doing his day-to-day, stuff. And he will always be Superman. He will have grown up in Kansas. He'll currently be working at the Daily Planet, while also being Superman. He will already be an established figure in terms of the world. But nonetheless, let me know your thoughts. Are you a fan of the costume? Do you not like the costume? What changes would you like to see made to the costume? Are you looking forward to the James Gunn? Are you looking forward overall to James Gunn's Superman movie next year? What are your thoughts on the idea of David Cornsweet playing Superman? Overall, let me know your thoughts. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye for now.